Alright guys, so I am installing my gauge pod, and to do that you just have to take out your console here, your center console. There's just one screw right here, and then you just kind of pull the rest out slowly. Take out the connectors, right? And up here you in the center, you want to get like a plastic wedge or a screwdriver wrapped with electric tape on the end. You kind of pry in the middle and pop it up, and then pop the two sides up, and then you just kind of pull it out. Then there's 4 screws up here that you take out. Then there's 2 screws down here you take out. And I went ahead and took out my cigarette lighter thing. Those come out with just 3 screws right there, and that thing just falls out. And for the radio, to get that out, so there's these 4 holes here, all the way around. There's 4 holes. You just get yourself like a 2-inch nail. See this guy? Just stuff it on down in there. It won't go that far down in. But what that does is it hits this release here, and then whenever you're pulling this guy out, you just pull it out a little bit and stop, and then the radio just pops out. The connectors are all back here, so you don't have to worry about any wiring. And you just pull the radio out, you set it down, and you take the console out. Now, for the wiring, so of course it's going to be ran up here, like that. And this one goes to the wideband. This here goes to the fuse tap. So I am wow, that's really washed out. I'm tapping into the ignition, which is this guy here on your panel. So I'm tapping into the ignition. The fuse for the ignition goes on the bottom. The fuse for the wideband goes on the top. So just kind of how they go together there, right? So then I need to feed this, well actually the harness, through here somehow, which I'm still kind of figuring out. And then honestly I'm just going to use this screw right here. I've already tested it. This is a ground, so I'm just going to ground it right here. So I've got my power, which is going to go into here, and then my ground, which is going to go right there. And then your wideband, check this out. If you go through your shifter, ooh, what's that guy right there? So you just run the wire down. So here's the wire. You just run this down through here, run it down there to connect it, and then you take all this extra stuff, wind it up, stuff it in here somewhere, stuff it down in here, stuff it in here, just out of the way so it's not dangling down below your car. Originally I thought I was going to have to pull the wire here through the firewall, and at first I was like, man, I'm not going to have enough wire. But now a friend of mine on Facebook, he's like, hey, just go through the shifter. Now I have way too much wire. And then the boost gauge, honestly, well, I'm going to get confirmation on this first, but probably just going to split it off of this guy, ground it here, and then that will have power. But I'm going to run that through something, through the dash most likely. That will probably have to go through a firewall. But then I'm just going to tee it off right here, okay? And at some point I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to move him over here. So I'm just going to get a map sensor extension harness. I'm just going to wrap it around, and it's going to go to back there, and then boom, I already have a T in there, so I just tee it off. Bam, I have a source for my boost. This guy just fits in there like that, and then up there like that. And the only thing I have to do is, see these 2 little areas right here? Just have to grind those down a little. I mean, hell, you can grind them down. I wouldn't go too far down, because you want the cover to not show through. So just cut them down, maybe like 1/4 inch. Maybe, you know, just cut them down just a little bit. And then the gauges will miss these, and then it'll just pop right in. So I went passenger side instead, where it just kind of comes up here, and I'm going to wrap this with electric tape so nothing chafes. and then find somewhere to zip tie it to so it doesn't get wrapped around that guy. And that'll be done. And I just gotta put all this back together and we're ready to rock. Well, yeah, that's I guess that's true. I guess still gotta figure out where I'm gonna be running this guy through. But other than that, we're good to go. Alright, so what I did to get it over here is this panel actually comes out a little bit. If you look back there, you see how the panel, look at my little fingers. So just kind of fish it down the way that I have it. I pull this panel out a little bit, and then you just pull the wire all the way to the back. And there's this huge opening back here. Maybe we can, yeah, see, there's this huge opening back here. Just pull it to back there, and then tuck this up with some zip ties underneath your kick panel. Alright, y'all, so slight change. So when I had it in the ignition, it was always on. But I, got out my tester here and tried to find an ignition only fuse. And I kind of went through them. And the, what is that? Whoops, I'll block it. The HVAC, yeah, this one only turns on when the ignition is on. Oh, and another thing, two of my fuses, whenever I was looking, this one and this one both had 20 amp fuses in them, but I swapped them out for what they should be. So those are, here and hiding behind the wire. All right, guys, there she be. Everything put back. Looks pretty good. Now the oh, my keys out. Now the moment of truth, I guess. Interesting. Oh, because it was unplugged, that's right. So let's see here. Oh, there it goes, 19. Oops. Gotta eventually take it out, there's a little screw that goes up underneath those. That'll hold them in. But yeah, here we go. Easy peasy.